Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns. The MLG Winter Championships are coming up. That's why these guys are playing the Winter Season Showdowns. If they win a best of 5, they get to go to this event, all expenses paid, to compete for thousands of dollars. If you're in the area, make sure you're there, and you have the opportunity to save some money. If you buy your pass online right now, it's $35 versus at the door, it's $50. So definitely be sure to take advantage of that. Let's go ahead and get into game number 2, though, as we have a best of 5 on our hands again in the North American region to determine who's going to get that spot at that Winter Championship event. That's what all these guys are playing for, so again, be sure to, if you're in the area, you better be there. Of course, me and axslav will be there, unless disaster strikes, unless another hurricane hits New York or a blizzard.
This game is...
I don't think will happen.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Why don't we introduce the players here?
Yes, of course, in the top left-hand location, we have the Red Terran player, Fenix, currently up 1-0. Very nicely played game number 1. Showing awesome drop style, macro style, getting ahead on upgrades and staying there. His opponent in the bottom right-hand location is the blue Protoss player, State, who made a couple mistakes in the last game, but still made a game out of it. And no reason to count him out. No reason to count him out.
You know, one thing I noticed last game is really the game was in Fenix's element. Fenix is this very aggressive, multitasking player. State is a player extremely based on timings. Like, he loves timings, whether it's 1 base, 2 base, 3 base. He's very good at just macroing out and hitting the perfect timing with the max amount of units and then microing that single engagement very well. But what happened last game is he could never, he was always trying to react to what Fenix was doing. And Fenix, on the other hand, you know, he was playing a little bit loose and fast with units. There may have been some openings there, but State was never able to get across the map and take advantage. You know, he tried the one time at the end, but I think it was too far behind at that point. State's got, I think, if State wants to do well in the series, he's got to do something proactive. He's got to try to hit Fenix before Fenix can really get his little multitask machine running on full bore.
We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that, of course. You know, State did a decent job deflecting the drops. You know, he had observers across the map, which I love seeing out of Protoss players. Vision is so valuable in the game of StarCraft 2, especially in Heart of the Storm when Ignite Afterburners are available. So we'll definitely keep an eye on a close eye on how State decides to, you know, to play out this game as far as reactively or, you know, going after his opponent in a certain way. Meanwhile, we're seeing Fenix opening up with that command center after, looks like, just getting gas for a Reaper. And adding on a reactor to that barracks. Exact
same opening he did last game. You know, I haven't seen any Terran do this exact opening yet with the 1 Reaper straight into reactor expansion. But I really like it. I think it's awesome. The Reaper gets great scouting. And the Reaper, what it does is it forces the first couple Protoss units to stay at home. And as long as the first couple Protoss units stay at home, that means you can build a reactor before a single Marine. And that means your production gets insane very early. It's a really well thought out build. It all clinks together really nicely. I really enjoy seeing this.
You can even like skip the bunker in theory for a certain extent. In
oh, definitely.
The game,
I mean, as soon as you get to like 6 Marines.
Yeah.
In fact, last game, I don't think Fenix ever built a single bunker in the entire game.
I think you're right.
So, you know, this is something where if State can try to come up with a timing to take advantage of that, maybe it can work. But we notice, again, he's going for the factory with a couple early Widow Mines. It may be very hard to really get a timing attack going.
All right, State putting down that Nexus at his natural expansion, getting that Mothership 4 out on the field. Looks like an identical build to last game, adding on 2 additional gateways. Meanwhile, let's see if...
Look what Fenix is doing.
Is he going for 10?
I think it's the exact same opening as last game.
Okay, so he's going to go for the Widow Mines.
And he's being very, very careful about making sure there's no proxy pylons. Of course, if you skip the bunker, if you get hit by like a 3 or 4, it can be very problematic, but he's got the Marines out, the Reaper out, checking all around the map, making sure there's no chance of a secret pylon getting in near him and throwing him off his game.
I mean, it's a great example of playing to your opponent in a best of 5. In game 1, we saw State sneak a couple pylons on his opponent's side of the map, was able to use those quite effectively, causing his opponent to delay that 3rd base quite a bit with that with the Stalker. Hold on, though, Reaper getting trapped. He's like, let me in,
or is it?
Oh, State, Time Warp.
That Reaper, you know, 60 life is a lot of life. People don't realize that these Reapers are tougher than they used to be. Oh, but look at this. State at the top right, Probe sneaking around. It's got a mission. That mission involves pylons. There's one on the very far right side. Is he going to build a second proxy one? Perhaps at the third.
I'm sorry, I love this play. Like, I like the pylon. Like, a lot of players will be like, oh, I don't do this because the chances of the Terran scouting the pylon is pretty good and you're just throwing away 100 minerals or whatever. But I like this. It gives you so much vision. It gives you opportunities as the game goes along to potentially harass when your opponent isn't expecting it. And the chances of your opponent actually scouting every single pylon not going to be gigantic. So really cool play from State, at least in my opinion. And Fenix, though, still being so annoying with this Reaper. He's taking so many hits. He's taking so many hits, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to go back there and scout some more.
You know, people are like, without that bonus to light damage, Reapers are bad. But let me tell you, tell that to Fenix. Because this guy's Reapers, yeah, it has 0 kills. But it's done so much as far as scouting. Just knowing where to put the scan to reveal stuff, knowing the gas timings, knowing the Protoss army composition. It's incredibly useful for a very, very cheap price.
We're seeing a similar unit composition to last game from Fenix here. 2 Widow Mines, plenty of Marines and Marauders. Looks like he's gonna push out fairly soon. Probably gonna start that starport. Yeah, putting the starport. Oh, the starport's already done. Putting it on the reactor. 2 medevacs gonna be churned out. 4 gateways on the way from State. These builds from both these players look absolutely identical to last game.
And definitely very confident in the way they are playing. Of course, State may be trying to think of things he should have changed up from that last game into this game, but Fenix is probably saying everything went fine. That Widow Mine drop was caught, so I got to be a little more careful for observers. But other than that, you know, that game was firmly in my grasp.
Yeah.
State again, though, very late forges, prioritizing a ton of warp gates, but what can he get done with his warp gate unit count at this stage of the game?
I think it's a situation. I feel like I'm a broken record talking about this last game and this game, but again, identical situations where if State can just clean this up, he has a great opportunity to just push across the map and get a significant amount of damage done with those forward pylons across the map and plenty of vision everywhere. Of course, he has to be cautious of drops.
There's 6 Stalkers moving out, but the blink's not done yet, but Stim is. Concussive Shell's done too. If these Stalkers get caught, that could be...
State, be careful. There's the Stim. State, though, he's good game sense. Gonna back away.
Yes.
Skin going down somewhere.
On his army. Trying to look for Observer,
observers.
but you know what? He's not able to find him. State's Observers are so effective.
All right, State is going to see that his pylon is getting taken
Did the
out.
Observer see the Widow Mine drop? The Widow Mine dropped
is it?
back, so way out. Over on the right by the natural. He was thinking about going in. He's waiting for the Ignite Afterburners to get back up again. I really want to see a bunch of probes out of Widow Mines. I have a confession to make. I like probes.
You're terrible.
I like probes. Oh, it's coming in. It's coming in.
All right,
Where's
meanwhile,
he gonna go?
we have State pushing across the top of the map here. Looks like the Widow Mine drop is going to happen in the natural expansion. Going to be burrowing down, and this mineral line might be toast. Oh my gosh. There you got
so many probes going down.
Are you happy?
I am quite happy, but medevac being caught in the middle here.
Got to blink out of there, Stalkers.
Is he going to catch Observer? No, not going for the Observer. That was a win for State getting the medevac, but losing all those probes.
And the Widow Mine's got out of there too. 8 workers killed. Not too shabby.
Not bad at all. For 0 losses, the medevac's not even touched. It's skedaddling out of there. 150 life. 2 Widow Mines. You know, it could even just turn around and come back and do that again.
No, State's forgetting about his workers.
A little bit of misstep there, and Phoenix is going to try to secure this space by knocking over those collapsible rocks. Phoenix again with a decisive upgrade lead. I mean, right now it's only by 1 upgrade. It's 1-0, but he's working on 2-1, and State has 0 forges. State's really cranking out a lot of units.
Yeah.
And I feel what State's doing is a reaction to the new medevac. He feels that he needs a ton of Blink Stalkers out, or else with Ignite Afterburners, the Terran army will just destroy him. And I think he feels he can't afford to get the Forges early game anymore in Heart of Swarm. I mean, I don't know if he's right or wrong, but this is just what the way he's playing.
Thinking about his games in Wings of Liberty, like I've watched this guy for a long time, he never really got the Forges early in Wings of Liberty. He's always been one to go for the Colossi, go for the big AoE stuff, the Storm, relatively fast before getting those upgrades and really trying to be cost efficient with those. So, you know, I think this might be a stylistic choice from State here, to be completely honest, favoring acceleration into the higher tech rather than getting those upgrades crazy fast.
Definitely could be. Phoenix looks like he's going for a double drop. He's got Widow Mines at the bottom on the right side. He's got a Bile unit. The Widow Mines are spotted by the Observer.
Uh-oh.
They're
State
moving
has
around.
Blink. State has Blink. There's a difference between seeing and seeing. Oh, the high topper's being warped in here. Feedback will kill that medevac. Nice.
Oh, a great pickoff by
the
State
medevac
there.
The other medevac?
Oh, it's hanging out. Hasn't been activated yet. But State saying, you know what? You want to play a multitasking game? I can keep up with you.
Yep.
Phoenix, you better up your game because that one drop didn't quite work it. State's got a 20 food advantage now, but remember, Fenix still has that upgrade advantage.
He's also adding on that Ghost Academy, of course, realizing that ghosts are in effect from his opponent. We'll have to see what happens here. There's going to drop into the natural expansion again, that bio army, but a medevac getting fed back. Not going to kill it just yet.
Great defense by State here. He's going to clean that up, losing only the High Templar and I think one Stalker. Yeah, just one Stalker and a High Templar for the entire medevac full of guys. You know, State's observer coverage and his reactions are really on top of everything right now.
He's got 4 observers on the field right now.
Oh, Fenix with a small army caught on the middle.
Oh, the Stalker's blinking forward, going to try to take down the medevacs, and plenty of Zealots here going to come help. Fenix is on the run, and slowly but surely, State taking a pretty significant supply advantage, 146 to 129. We have a drop heading into the third base there of State as Fenix is retreating from this big army.
State, massive Zealot warping. He's ready for absolutely everything. There might not be enough Zealots, though. Fenix's army tears them to pieces. State's trying to push across the front of the army.
He's trapping an army at the top right, though. Going to blink forward with authority.
Mass High Templar recall, storms over everything.
And State, I think he's good here.
He's cleaned up absolutely everything. He lost a few probes there, lost 1 or 2 High Templar, but he cornered that whole army, killed it off. The use of the High Templar recall was actually pretty awesome, I do have to admit.
Did he use the Mothership core there? I wasn't really
watching. He recalled because he lost the first warpin, but he had another squad that was ready to finish drop as natural, and it recalled to the third base.
Saving some Zealots with the Warp Prism. Very fancy play there from State, and now he's going to be on the offensive. Lots of Stalkers and Zealots here. Looks like, is that 1-1? Yeah, 1-1 is about to finish. No High Templar. Okay, yeah, 4 High Templars now strolling on in there. Marine has that high ground, but State up 145 to 128, forcing a stint there from Fenix. EMP is going down, but there's the Time Warp from State, trying to prevent his opponent from leaving. Force Field's going down as well. Zell trying to chop up as much as possible. Nice EMPs, but no, one Storm going to get through there from State. He's going to try to push through and end his opponent right here, right now. Fenix, though, slowly starting to edge this army away, and State, I think, making the wise choice here and retreating.
He is that upgrade advantage by Fenix, showing even with some good Storms, not quite enough because of those upgrades, but State, he's already transitioning into Colossi. He's trying to catch up on upgrades. 2 observers go down. A nice pickup by Phoenix.
Yeah, State probably is definitely going to want to rebuild those. But again, he's kind of wanting to go into Colossi production.
It's a tough choice.
It's almost worth adding on a second Robo, honestly. But there we see an observer queued up in that Robo. State really loves having that vision of the map. Of course, Fenix, such a drop-intensive player. I'm not sure. I doubt that call either, especially when Ghosts are in play and High Templars in play. If you have vision over your opponent's composition, you can see where the Ghosts are going. You can predict your opponent's movements and react appropriately. And that being said,
Fenix is now at 3-2 upgrades against the 1-1 of his opponent. He's moving with a significant army to his opponent's third base.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to try to strike 2 locations at once. This drop has been
State knows
spotted.
about. I think he knows about the drop.
Oh, is State going to crush this army here? This is a very small force by Fenix. It's very exposed.
Phoenix is going to try to take advantage here by sending the medevacs in, but there the Stalker's going to try to target them down as State is still going to try to pursue that army, but the medevac's going to get anything done.
They are. They're still alive. They're going to try to get this cancel over on the 4th base here. Meanwhile, it looks like he's loaded up another medevac and hit the 3rd. Can they cancel the Nexus?
He's going to try to targeting down that Nexus over there at
oh, decided to go for the army instead.
He's out of there. He's out of there. Medevacs. State, he's just playing this so well, I think.
State is over every single attempt that Fenix is making. Does Observer see those medevacs?
No.
No, it doesn't. Which means if they use Ignite Afterburners and jump in there won't be as much reaction time.
All right, we'll keep an eye on this. We have Warp Prism speed on the way from State. He's tired of having to defend all these drops, so he's going to go for a lot of drops of his own. Going to be pushing across the middle of the map. Phoenix trying to find out, all right, where's my opponent's army? When can I safely go in with those medevacs? But I think the Observer might see it now.
They poked it. Oh, it does see it. State's going to be ready for this. In fact, he's bringing his Warp Prism full of High Templar back. Oh, or no, he's not. He's actually just giving you some Warpins here. The Stalker's heading to the back to base. Of course, Stalker's very, very effective at killing medevacs before they can land units. State, meanwhile, he's almost at 2-2. And he's defending these drops so well. He's clawed his way back to a very strong position in this game.
All right, the medevac's going to start charging into the main base here. And let's see, State has the Stalkers. They're going to blink forward, targeting down the medevacs, and Fenix is going to lose both of them. No damage done there. Great pickoff once again from State. Again, Protoss players at home, if you're wondering how is State doing this, it's the Observer coverage. State pretty much always is going to have 3 to 4 observers on the field. The Warp Prism heading into the 3rd base of Fenix, but it's going to get taken out by a turret, potentially dropping them by Templar, storming the middle line, going to send that Warp Prism into the main base. The High Templars going to just turn themselves into Archons, and the Warp Prism is going to come back and pick them up.
Oh! Thought it was going to. The hair too close to that turret. Of course, there's
Storm
still
yet.
one more.
No storm
oh,
yet.
no, 2 more seconds. Use one more energy. Use it.
He's a storm.
Oh, he's busy controlling his army over here in the middle of the map. He's moving out. A very fearsome army. Look how much energy's on those Templar.
Lots of finishing. Oh my gosh, there's like 8 of them. 2 Guardians going down. Stalkers picking up to the high ground. Colossus leading the charge. This Phoenix having an appropriate response. Vikings coming forward, but look out for the storms here from State coming in from every single angle, and the storms blanketing underneath the Vikings. The Moraines and Barrage is trying to stay out of range of the Colossus, but now the Viking town is gone.
Some great EMPs neutralizing some of the storms. There's still more left, though.
State with more ridiculous storms. The Stalkers feeling very bold, blinking forward, but I don't know if 3 Colossus is going to be enough here. State needs Zealot reinforcement. But Phoenix just going to throw on the GG. That is going to be enough. And State taking game number 2, 132 to 80. Another game that took the breath out of me, man. These guys are absolutely everywhere with their drops. I think the story of that game was Phoenix trying again and again to make the drops work, but State showing that Protoss has the ability to recognize where they are when they're coming and has the ability to shut them down.
Yeah, great observer detection there. You know, it's Phoenix has got to keep killing those observers.
Yes.
That's something you see. You know, he's so good at multitasking, so good at being aggressive. One note he's got to take from that Korean Terran page book is just always keep an eye on the map. Anytime you see a blur, scan, knock that guy out, because without the observers, it's so much harder for Protoss to keep track of all those drops.
Yeah, a great play there from State. It's showing how you don't necessarily have to prioritize upgrades early on in the game, you know, instead relying on his High Templar micro, his Colossus micro, and of course those instrumental Blink Stalkers. Guys, the North American matches have been phenomenal so far, and now we have another match that's tied 1-1. Game 3 coming up between Phoenix and State. Again, the winner of this best of 5 advances to the Winter Championships. Stay tuned.